Hello, beautiful people. How are you all? My name is Attorney LaKanya of Off the Mark IP Solution, and welcome to Beyond the Launch. I'm so excited to join you and really have a great topic for you today. Hope you find some value in it. Got a question today in my inbox that wanted to know how they can tell if if a logo was already copywritten, if they tried to do it themselves and they used one of those logo builders. So I said, you know what, that is an excellent question to discuss in our group today, because I do know that oftentimes in an effort to save money, we will bootstrap and do things ourselves. So let's just talk about that just a little bit. And I actually had a conversation, I believe yesterday, I was interviewed on BIB Blog Talk Radio, and you can look forward to that coming out in just a little, maybe a couple of weeks. But one of the things we talked about and discussed were logos, and and we talked about this before, that just because you pay someone to design your logo for you doesn't mean that you necessarily own the rights to that. And so one of the workarounds that he suggested was, well, we'll just do our own logo. And this is how I feel about doing it yourself. Well, this is how I feel now. I believe in letting the dancers dance and the singers sing. So if you're not an expert at graphic design, don't do your own logo. And that's because your logo it represents you, and if it looks shoddy, people are going to think that you do shoddy work. That's number one. So if you don't have the money for the logo and you don't have the talent to make your own, one of the things I would suggest is go ahead and just keep working and save money for your logo. It's not a requirement that you start business with a logo. Like, it's nothing that says, hey, you can't make a sale, you can't sell a service or a product until you get this logo. No. Go ahead and start and join and make that money so that you can save it up and hire someone. But if you choose to do it yourself, here's some things that you need to consider. First of all, when you use something like a logo builder, if you look at the terms of service, you don't have the right to that when you finish making your logo. Remember, copyrights protect original works that are in a fixed, tangible form. Well, if you didn't create it, if you're just simply taking pieces together to make something, you didn't create an original work. You just kind of took something that's already protected by copyrights and something else that's already protected by copyrights potentially, and combined it to make something. So that's not really anything that can be protected, and you need to keep that in mind as you're building your logo and building your brand and building your business, because at the end of the day, this is all about assets and property. And if you're creating something that can't be protected, why are you doing it? If you're creating something that people don't have to come to you to ask for the rights or permission to use it, then why are you doing it? Because remember, this is not just a short-term game. This is not simply about, let me get this copyright, let me get this logo. This is about, okay, how can I make money off of this outside of my logo? Outside of it representing my company? How can I monetize this? And if you don't own the copyrights to it, if you don't own the trademarks to it, the answer is you can't. Okay? So that is thing number one. The second thing is, and the same difference, you want to know, how can you tell if certain logos on Google are copywritten? And I don't know, I guess we can address this in one or two ways. So maybe you see something and you're like, man, that is a nice logo. I want something similar to that. Or I like that logo. And it's okay to see something and be inspired by it. And there's a difference between being inspired and being copied. For instance, you can look at something and say, you know what, I like this particular logo because I like the thinness of the font, I like the curve of this, I like the color, I like, different elements of it. Rather, I want that logo. For instance, the Off the Mark logo is actually inspired by the All About the Fit logo from one of my favorite movies, The Intern. I talked to my graphic designer. I was like, look, I love this logo. So he had my old logo. I said, I love this logo. And then I told him what I liked about the logo. And he didn't copy All About the Fit's logo, but he was absolutely inspired by it. And there's a difference between copying and inspiration. So if you see something and you just think about what it is that draws you to it. What is it about that particular image or logo that makes you say, I like that? and see how you can take some of those elements and make it your own. Because if you take something on Google and you just take it and you copy it, that is copyright infringement. One of the quickest ways to realize or to kind of know if you're infringing on someone else's copyright is to just do a quick check. Did you create it? Did you write the song? Did you sing the song? Did you make the drawing? Did you make the drawing? Did you write the book? Did you take the picture? If you don't answer yes to any of those, chances are you're infringing on someone else's copyrights. Because just because it's on the internet doesn't mean that it's free for everyone to use. So that is what I have. That's how I'm answering that question, is that if you want to do it yourself, just make sure that you're not infringing on anyone's copyright, and make sure that what you create can actually be protected at the conclusion when you're finished. And if you can't, if you don't have the money for it, it's absolutely fine to just save money. Keep working. Your business will not lose profits because you don't have a logo. If you don't have a logo, but you have the bomb product and the bomb service, and people know about you, you are not going to lose money because you haven't found the money for the logo. This is our second logo. Our first one was a fairly simple logo, and then as we evolved, and I really realized. And that's another thing too. Oftentimes when you're just starting out, you don't know what your brand is, because you're just you're just figuring it out. But as you go into business, you kind of learn yourself, and you learn yourself as it relates to business, and you have more insight into what you want your visual output and or visual image to be, and how you want to be represented. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Beyond the Launch.